Hello and most welcome to Age 1955. We will continue the most interesting article by Severin Schroeder, A Tale of Two Problems, Wittgenstein's discussion of aspect perception. This is going to be a short A-level, and we'll continue next in 1956. Last time we went into how important this imagination is often called, or the inventor thing, or the entering of the unexpected, that which is not within the regions of calculation, rationale, and so forth. The freedom. How we are free to understand ourselves, to make do with whatever we come up with. I say this free will is the asymmetric thinking as well. Without it, there wouldn't be any free will at all. So there is a dependency here. Something that creates freedom is the inventive side of the human mind. Always a possibility. Away from determinism, and also opening up an experienced reality, not a conceptualized left hemispheric reality, but a truer, real one that is not decided from the beginning. I would also call that an openness that brings so much more in its fold. We can go to page 369, the end of the first paragraph, schematic pictorial aspects. Oh, very good. We good, you found it.
The black cross.
Yeah.
The black white cross.
So this imagined person whose aspect line will only see one, he will claim that the black cross, for instance, is the stain, the essence of reality, and there is nothing else to reality. So the monosemic is sharing many traits with the schizophrenic. It's a schizophrenic light, possibly. As McKilcrew says, too much rationale. He would defend to death the idea of only a black cross or a white cross. And I will continue to read in the second paragraph of page 369. Thus, the only kind of aspect perception that allows of aspect blindness as envisaged by Wittgenstein is the experience of a picture or theatrical representation as transparent for an imaginative engagement with the object depicted. Depicted!
Depicted.
In such cases, seeing as is not so much a cognitive achievement as an imaginative and emotional experience. Emotional experience coming from the imagination.
Experience. 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 Emotional experience.
The aspect blind person is not deficient in his understanding of what is represented, nor does he actually see less. He merely lacks a certain emotional response, a response that others experience at most intermittently, when momentarily fully engrossed in the representation. In the representation. And it is the only kind of aspect perception. The emotional seeing as of pictorial representations that affords Wittgenstein with a desired analogy with the phenomenon of experiencing the meaning of a word. Sometimes hearing a word we experience as having a familiar face, as having taken up its meaning into itself. This experience may accompany our understanding of a word, but it is not itself an act of understanding. Understanding. Because for one thing, it's an illusion to think that we experience a representation of the linguistic meaning of which our capacity to use the word correctly could be based. As noted above, Wittgenstein argued repeatedly that no such complex contents are in fact experienced in such a case. For another thing, most of the time we use and understand words in ordinary conversation. We do not, in this sense, experience their meaning at all. The meaning blind person is not lacking in linguistic competence, but merely in his emotional attachment to words. Such a person would feel about language in roughly the way we feel about recently learned code words. Suppose I had agreed on a code with someone. Tower means bank. I tell him, now go to the tower. He understands me and acts accordingly, but he feels the word tower to be strange in this use. It has not yet taken on the meaning. The meaning. The meaning. Similarly, the aspect blind person understands that a certain actor represents Henry V, yet he never experiences him to be Henry V, to have taken on the character. And I think this is such a good clue, so I'll end there. Sorry about the shortness.
Character being the last word.
Taken on the character, yes.
Character, page 370. 370.
For the aspect blind person, he does not have the experience of him to be Henry V. He can recognize him as Henry V, but he doesn't have the imagination. The asymmetrical thinking is simply not present in him. He is like the schizophrenic who can identify him as Henry V, but not in his bodily system. This is oddly in parallel with McNeill, the neurologist and psychologist who checked gestures. The lack of advanced gestures means that you don't enter into what exists, reality. It's the level of sophistication of your movements and how they follow your talk, your thinking simultaneously. Bit too late and bit too early, there will be a sort of lack in understanding. I'd say it is this lack in understanding that is pointed to here. And the emotional, you can read on the first paragraph I started to read, 4 lines down, it's on the page 369. To make the text a bit smaller, easy to go around. In such cases, seeing as is not so much a cognitive achievement as an imaginative and emotional experience. Compared to the conceptualization of God, then you stopped, you have just recognized, you grasped God, but you don't imagine him, you don't experience him. It's a vast difference. It might not sound like here in the words, but it is an incredible difference. You are more than welcome to compare with left hemisphere and right hemisphere, but today I will focus on the real experience of something, not just recognizing or pointing out something, but really having it as a gesture, as a doing. Kalle, please enter. You're more than welcome.
Thank you. So there is this experience may act only. Let me see, where is it? Yes. So this phrase here, this experience may accompany our understanding of a word, but it's not itself an act of understanding. So this is Wittgenstein is not saying that understanding of word is not about experience. What Wittgenstein is saying is that this for a aspect blind person there is no experience or lack of understanding.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed, because for the ideal person who is not aspect blind, there is both. In order to grasp a word completely, you must also experience the word.
Yeah. You hear the tone of it, the taste of it, all those things.
And one example here is on the next page about the tower standing for bank. And since you have perhaps learned it recently, this person, aspect blind person, has not yet got into his body, so to say. He has not grasped it fully. Or to give you an example with the Kanya, that you have only heard the word only once or twice. You don't yet have it in your body, in your experience. So to understand a word, you actually need to experience it. Say it many times aloud, perhaps. Imagine it. That's experience. But aspect blind person perhaps tries to make only a conception of the word.
Yes, a conceptualization and objectification of the word. He can still recognize it, he can speak about it, but the deeper is not there. It's a bit like ChatGTB. Artificial intelligence.
Yes. Perhaps we should end there, Hans.
Yeah, thank you very much for participating. Sorry it went so short. I'll try to reconnect pretty soon. Have a wonderful day, morning or day or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Bye for now.
Kania, pina colada.